My name is Kunal. I'm one of the PICO grid trainees here at Birmingham Children's Hospital. And the topic for my QI project is where are the daily progress notes? So I moved in the past 2 years from being an Oxford trainee here to Birmingham. In Oxford, we tended to have electronic records in PICU, and it was very easy to curate a discharge letter. Whereas coming here to Birmingham, I found out that we had paper notes and was finding it hard to curate discharge summaries. So my problem statement was patient progress notes, or IPAR sheets, which we call them, are often partially filled and frequently misplaced. And this impedes the compiling of a discharge letter by us registrars, leading to delayed discharges and disruption of care. We know that in the NHS long-term plan, there is a plan to digitally enable care, and hopefully in due course of time, most trusts will have electronic patient records. Running through diagnostics, looking at a fishbone diagram, the things that shown out was we had a paucity of punch machines on the unit, and when holes were not being punched in the daily progress notes, they would just fly out of the paper notes. And you can see here in the chart, 5 out of 8 IPAR sheets were misplaced, and all those 5 sheets didn't have any holes in them. Coming to aims and measures, so I aimed that 9 out of 10 daily progress records would be filed in the correct place in the patient notes by early September. And how I measured is, well, I scored the presence of the IPAR sheet in the correct place as 2. If they were filed in not in the correct place, it was 1. And if it was not filed at all in the patient records, then it was 0. And I spent I did 10 patient records every week, and I was spending a minute on each of them. Inclusion criteria being all patients admitted who had a stay of more than 48 hours in ICU. And I was basically looking at the record from the previous day, which is usually filed in by the night registrar. Lots of changed ideas came up. The first one, which I was most passionate about, was use of a separate plastic sleeve or an envelope in the patient folder, and we would just put in our notes there. I also thought about creating a separate subsection amongst the various sections. 2 of these didn't actually work out. The plastic sleeve, I had to abandon the idea, and same for the subsection, which couldn't pass through our clinical practice meetings. The punching of holes was welcomed by registrars, but then it came up as we were going through the cycles that we didn't have enough punch hole machines on the unit. So I labeled and kept some at the printer side, and also told my registrars that we do have some at the admin desk as well. If you look at my run chart, in the baseline run chart, we had lots of not filed reports, and our median was 1 where they were being filed but not in the right places. And as we move through the PDSA cycles, it is getting better, but we still have not reached the optimum like 9 out of 10, which I had envisioned to start with. Coming to the end of my QI project, what I reflect is that change is difficult, but persistence pays. And picking one small thing to change is easy, but to get others excited about that change and to commit to it takes lots of persuasion. Multiple PDSA cycles are needed for any sustainable change. If I would have been given the chance of starting again, I would involve the nursing team at the outset for better results, because what I found out was that the nursing team also tended to take the notes out to hand over amongst themselves. And I just need to get this idea that it needs to go back again in place so that we don't lose data. And in the long term, transition to electronic notes may be a way out of this problem. Thank you for your patient listening, and I'm opening this to questions.